All right, so now we're going to do dividing mixed numbers. So 2.5 divided by 1 and 3/4. Okay, so we're going to multiply this, the whole number part of the mixed number, times the denominator of the fraction, plus the numerator of the fraction. So it's sort of an arrow, it goes like this. So it comes up, 2 times 2, and then plus 1. So it's going to be 2, which is here, times the denominator, 2, here, plus 1, our numerator, here, all over the denominator, which stays the same. Okay, bring down the division. Same thing here. 1 times 4 plus 3. And the arrow comes all the way around here. All right, we're going to actually hit there and then there. So 1 times 4 plus 3. All over the same denominator 4. The reason why I like to do it this way is because I don't like dealing with making a mistake by changing this division to times and then trying to change this mixed number and make sure that I get the denominator right. It's just, it gets a little wonky. So what I like to do is just, because yeah, you could flip this here, but it's just much easier in my opinion. And obviously different routes are totally fine if that works best for your brain. But for my brain, how I learned it, I like this the best way. But just inventory your own brain and your own recall and see what process you like the best. So 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So that's going to be 5 over 2. Now we make this times. So here comes times. You can have an X or a dot, depending on how old you are and where you're at in school or in your learnings. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7. 7 over 4. The reason why the X turns into a dot is that it looks like an X. It looks like a variable. So you don't want too many X's on your page. And so it's actually not going to be times 7/4 because it's easy to make a mistake. So I'm actually going to scratch that. We're not ready for that yet. So we're going to do divided by 7/4. So my recommendation is that you take an extra step here and go slowly. A lot of times, and I'm sure I was the same when I was young. I work with students and it might seem easier to do like 2 steps or to do everything in your head, but unless you really know the process for a certain problem type and you want to sort of write everything out and line everything up and make it really clear and visible, easy for your teacher to see your work, easy for you to use your homework or your material to study with, to learn from, to glean your knowledge and your learnings from. So this is, the problem, right? First step, you outline what the first step's going to be, what this ends up being the first step. Now this is the second step, still division. I was a little bit early on the multiplication. So now you write this again one more time. Just one more time. So 5 divided by 2, now this becomes a times. And so I always think about reading. So you read left to right. So when you solve these problems, it's going to be left or right. So you read 5/2, okay, yeah, 5/2, bring it down. You're not reducing it, so just bring it straight down. Division, oh, we're going to change this now. Once these are two mixed numbers, now we're going to, excuse me, improper fractions from mixed numbers. Now we're going to change the division to what times? How do we know which, what if we forget, if we're going to flip this one or flip this one? Well, if you read left or right, it's the same thing here. It's all left or right. So this stays the same, this comes down, then this one, obviously you're going to change something about it, because you can't just change this from division to times and not change something else in the problem, right? So a critical thinker knows we're going to change something in the problem. So what can you do with fractions? Well, you generally at this level of the game, you can't really do much, right? You can maybe flip them. I mean, that's the obvious, right? Is to flip them, and that's actually the answer here. So you might want to cross cancel as well. So 2 and 4 work for cross canceling here. So 2 goes into both 2 and 4 evenly. So you've got 1 out here, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Got 2 out there, and then our original 5 and 7 stay the same here. And now you've got 5 times 2 is 10, and 1 times 7 is 7. This is correct. 95 times out of 100. Math major can probably tell me the exact percentage of times, or I don't know if that's, or maybe a stats person, exact percentage of time that if you do cross cancel here, correctly, what percentage of time, because it's not 100%, because sometimes you're going to have numbers that they still end up, like 10 and 5. Like if this was a 1 and a 5, and this ended up 10 and 5. I'm not sure though, but actually if that was a 1 and a 5, and that was a 5 and a, you could cancel the 1 and the 1. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to 100%. So almost every single time, you're not going to have to reduce at the very end here. That's why I like cross canceling. It's very, very helpful. So if the instructions state to turn this into a mixed number, which is not always the case, but let's say it was, let's just walk you through this. So we're just going to divide 10 by 7. So it's going to be 1, and remainder 3, which in mixed number format, or mixed number form, is going to be 1 3/7.